This is a short video demo of the concourse editor that the tools team at Pivotal here has been working on lately. This is a VS Code extension, and what you see here is the VS Code editor from Microsoft, and you can install many plugins from this VS Code marketplace here. So ours is one of them. Just search for concourse, and there you go. This is our editor. Click install, one more click to reload the editor, and we're good to go. So now our extension is installed. The first thing I want to show you here is that we have some documentation hovers. The documentation hovers pop out whenever you hover over something. This is pretty much the same useful documentation that you would find online. If you find the VS Code documentation, it's very good quality documentation. All we do here is really just save you a trip to your browser to find that documentation. The next thing I'm going to show you is we have a linter. The linter is actually pretty smart, and for example, one of the things I demo you here is, you can see if I change the name of this resource, our linter notices on one end that this resource is now unused, because a resource with this name is not being used anywhere in the pipeline. And the same way at the other side, it notices that we are referring to something that no longer exists and marks it as an error. So that's just one of the examples of the things that our linter can do. Of course, we have content assist as well. If you press Control Space, for example here, you'll see that it's actually smart enough to know that inside the context of a Git resource, the things that it suggests there are specific to Git resource definitions. Okay, and one particular thing I wanted to point out about this content assist is that we have a kind of flexible indentation level. So in YAML, where you are with respect to the number of spaces in front here actually makes a big difference as to what kind of things you can type there. Our previous editor was pretty picky and would give only suggestions that match exactly where you are. And now we've relaxed that so that, for example, if I press Control Space here, these things here at the top are specific to the Git resource source. But if you scroll down a little, you see these with the little arrows are things that you could invoke if it could type if you were indented a little bit less far. So for example, if I want to start a new resource, I could just select the name completion and automatically it inserts that into the right spot in our file, which is very convenient to start a new resource definition. Now let's see what happens if I define an S3 resource, or sorry, S3, and when I invoke that completion, it automatically also inserts for us a source and a place to define the bucket. This is more or less the content assist I wanted to demo. So the last thing I want to show you is some navigation support. So one thing you can do is, let's click on, for example, this is a reference to a job. If I right click on here, you can see peak definition, which shows you an inline view of where that resource is being defined. Or you can press Control click and it will jump there, and you can also jump back. And then finally, if you press Control Shift O, you get an outline of all the resources that are defined in this file. And this is a searchable list, which is of course most useful if you have a pretty large file with lots of jobs and resources defined in it. So I press Control Shift O here and I type something, it narrows the list. You can jump to it and start editing right here. This is more or less what I wanted to demo, so I hope you like the demo. I hope you'll try our editor, and if you have any feedback, please come and visit us on GitHub. The project is called STS4 and it's under Spring Projects. And thank you for watching this demo.